Welcome everybody to our community call. Thank you for joining us today. We're really happy that you're here. We have a really interesting agenda for the day. So firstly, a couple of quick updates from our side, just to see what has happened a couple of weeks here at Superfluid. Then we're going to talk about our new dashboard, V2. And maybe you have seen recently on Twitter and on Discord, we have shared a little teaser for our new dashboard, and our product manager VJ is on the call today to show you and talk about the new version. And then on the call today, we also have two guest speakers. We have the CEO of Coinshift joining us today. Coinshift is the leading treasury management solution for DAOs. And quite recently, they have integrated Superfluid to their products, which we are really excited about, because as you know, Superfluid, one of the core use cases is salary payouts and payments. And they have integrated our technology to their product, and we're really, really excited. So he will tell us a little bit more about that. And then we also have Max and Eddie from Connext on the call. And the Connext is a network that enables fast and secure bridging between different blockchains. And what we have actually built together with them is the world's first cross-chain bridge for money streaming. So Fran and Connext, our partners from Connext, are going to talk about that. And then in the end, as always, we have an open floor for Q&A. So if you have any questions for us or our guest speakers, then feel free to let us know in the chat or on voice, however you want, and we will address all questions. Great. Then without further ado, a couple of quick updates from our side. As you know, we at Superfluid, we are building constantly and developing and evolving, and we need some support in our core team. And we have decided to partner up with the Job Protocol. The Job Protocol is basically a platform for Web3 jobs, where you or people can search for jobs in Web3, and different protocols and projects can upload their open positions for everybody. And what's really interesting about it is that they have a Web3 native referral program. That means that our community can actually contribute and refer other people to the open positions. And they have the chance to get a reward of 5,000 USDC for it if the candidate gets hired in the end. We think this is a really cool initiative, and we wanted to give that opportunity for our community to have the chance to get rewarded. We will share the link in the chat afterwards, so definitely check it out. Currently, we have around 6 open positions, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, have a look. If you know someone who wants a job in Web3 and wants to join our team, let us know. We're happy to get new candidates. And also a second update. So next week, we are sponsoring a hackathon in New York. It's called ETH New York. Unfortunately, this time this is only in person, so you guys cannot hack online. But we will be there, and our team will be there in person. And as per our tradition, we will also have some swag with us. And this time we decided to do a custom sticker just for that hackathon. And we launched a sticker contest in our community a couple of weeks ago. And on the screen, you can see the final sticker designs that we have chosen as finalists. They're really, really cool. We're super grateful for all the submissions and contributions. But the community has decided and voted, and the sticker winner is the one in the middle. So we are currently printing this as we speak, and we will have it with us in New York to give it away to all the participants. And we are super grateful. Congrats to the winner. We have sent a big swag package to him, so hopefully he enjoys it. Yes. And as I said, ETH New York will be next weekend. So from Friday to Sunday, we will be there. If any of you is going to be there, whether hacking or not hacking, doesn't matter. just let us know. We're always happy to meet our community in person. And we might also do a happy hour party event on Thursday next week. So if you want to have more details, please let us know on Discord. Great, that's it from my side, and I will give it away to Vijay.
Cheers, thanks, Victoria. Let me pull up my screen. All right. Yeah, I couldn't be more excited about this this announcement and the demo we're about to show. Hopefully some of you have seen this already on Twitter, but I kind of just wanted to pull it out again because I think it's kind of classic. So yeah, we are only a few weeks away now from revealing our full dashboard v2 and having you all play around with it. But let me share this teaser. Hopefully it plays all right. As you can see, this is the kind of full redesign of our dashboard. Ooh, let me skip the next screen. And it has a bunch of new screens on it. I'm just going to walk you through a little bit closer as a teaser, again, just ahead of our early access, which you've seen just the end of the video there. So we've got a full dark mode, which has been a hotly requested item for as long as I've been sort of hanging around the Superfluid community. We kind of have a new token-centric design with a lot more access to your multiple network streams at the same time, which is obviously going to be something we're touching on a little bit later as well. And as you can see, it's been redesigned into a series of tabs, so it will give you even more context as you zoom into each of those functions. And this actually is another amazing feature, being able to sort of see your balances spread out across time, and being able to sort of see the breakdown of your streams, distributions, and transfers here. And there are a few other small pieces in here that hopefully people pick up on and ask about later. But I'm excited to have everyone play around with this. And then I think the final thing to show you right now, and just this sort of zooming into this teaser, is what it'll look like when you share details of your stream with people now. You get this kind of beautiful landing page where people can see, easily who the from and to addresses are, all these other details, and quick social media sharing, as well as these kind of buttons to access closing and editing the stream directly from this page. So this one, hopefully I see shooting across social media and various points. And yeah, I think, oh, and then the very last one actually is this activity history page, kind of just with a few extra filters, being able to select by date, and again, this kind of amazing network context, so you can see everything that's happening for your account all at once. And yeah, just reiterating the stuff we've been talking about, the performance is absolutely next level. If you've used our previous dashboard, there have been times where it hasn't worked exactly as fast as you'd like, and that is almost totally out of the picture now. Almost 50 times faster in some circumstances, and yeah, with this beautiful dark mode. Multi-network views everywhere, wherever you like them. And yeah, you can get to see these nice charts, which we're going to throw in a few other places as well in the future. So let us know how you like them and where else you'd like to see them. And finally, just a couple of integrations that you may notice either in the demo or if you've been sort of playing around as a user tester, is that we've integrated ENS names everywhere, and we're in the process of integrating the ENS avatars. And Rainbow's kind of wallet connection UI, which some of you might have heard about on Twitter, or if you're familiar with Web3 apps, is going to be our new kind of connection engine of choice, which gives us access to their kind of high quality library and UI. And yeah, just another reminder, please, everyone, feel free to go and sign up for early access. You will get access basically within the next couple of weeks, hopefully, which will sort of give you, our final preview version before we push this fully live to everyone. And we really encourage you to get stuck in there, play around, and let us know what you like, whether you spot anything we haven't fixed yet. but yeah, ahead of this kind of big public launch, which again is mere weeks away. So we're excited to have it out there in the world.
Awesome. I also launched a poll to see how many people are considering to signing up for the early access. And all right, good. I see already a lot of people saying yes, that they can't wait to sign up. Yes, the new dashboard is super sleek. I'm really hyped about the dark mode and also the ENS support. Super cool. It's really, really well done. I will give a couple of more seconds to answer, and then I'm going to share the results. If any of you have any questions for VJ, please feel free to shoot. Okay, I'm going to end the poll, share the results. As you can see, the majority can't wait to try it out and get the early access. Some of you don't know where to sign up, so probably the link will be shared in the chat. So stay tuned for that. And if you're still unsure, do let us know on Discord and we will support you with anything. Awesome. So if no one has questions for VJ, then we can move forward with Coinshift. I think we have the CEO on the call today. Tarun, is Tarun over on here?
Yes, I'm here. Pretty excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Awesome. So take it away.
Cool. Yeah. So hey everyone, super excited to be here and present sort of Coinshift and what we are really thinking to integrate with Superfluid. So both the teams have been working super hard, I think, from the last few months. So yeah, I think super pumped to showcase. So maybe I just share my screen, but before really getting into that, I would love to also present what Coinshift is all about, so that for the first timers, they should know what we really want to bring to the ecosystem.
Yes, sounds good.
You can see my screen, right?
Yes, it works.
Perfect. So yeah, we are Coinshift. We are simplifying treasury management for DAOs and companies. And the interesting thing, we all have seen an exponential sort of growth, right, in the last few years in crypto startups. Any crypto typical startup, you can just look and it's multiple owners, the distributed team. They typically manage or raise money and then put it into the sort of Gnosis safe multisig, which is an industry standard. They want to do some kind of treasury operations onto that. Spending is one of that, payouts, payroll, right? And we were just seeing this, and then the last year, the DAO boom happened, and you can see what is a new beast, right, in the ecosystem, which are DAOs, and then they are just growing exponentially over the past 1 year, and it is more of a superset of what an sort of crypto native organization can do, right? And what is all interesting about these Web3 native organizations in DAO sort of landscape is when you have so many these native organizations, you need to manage their entire sort of operations, right? And there are a lot of things you can do, or from the tooling perspective, you can build in a DAO or any sort of Web3 organization. But Coinshift is sort of laser focused on the treasury piece, and majority of the decisions today in any DAO is majorly happening on the treasury allocation or budgeting, whether you're creating sort of multiple committees, right, to run specific function of the organization. And when I say treasury, you have certain things to consider, right? How will you really consolidate all your treasury balances across multiple chains, and so that you can take better decisions? How will you have liquidity management? How will you really have good diversification in your entire treasury assets with the risk assessment? How will you really have a very efficient spending sort of system, right? And how will you really do budgeting and all that? So Coinshift is all about the treasury piece here. So we, based on this sort of narrative, we just built our V1 with a very basic kind of functionality. You have your Gnosis multisig. Through that multisig, basically you'll be able to manage your teams. And after that, one click mass payout, you'll be able to pay to hundreds of sort of people in multiple tokens in a single transaction. That is like a very basic kind of feature, but it very nicely compiles with the team management and the accounting feature with the multi-sig collaboration kind of system. That's why a lot of people loved it. Like we just launched around June last year, and the traction has been like really, really good. Even today, we just passed like almost like $88 million in payouts and around like 2,800 plus saves. So we're growing very, very fast with just only V1. But there are like, a lot of things we have observed in V1, which is not very scalable when we really want to talk about treasury management piece. And that's why we were sort of, heads down sort of building this V2, which is more of a robust kind of infrastructure, which is at the center will just, implementing the entire infrastructure where you can have sort of grouping of multiple saves across multiple chains for a single organization. And that is what is happening in the organization as well, right? Being a Superfluid protocol itself, you are just moving into like, multiple sort of chains. And that's how a lot of other crypto protocols or other crypto startups are going. So we just feel like, any organization should be able to manage their treasury across these chains without even thinking like which chain they belong to, without even like, changing MetaMask pop-ups again and again while, surfing through that. And everything is in consolidation. And then if you just see like, the payouts, cash management, asset management and risk assessment, it's more like very, very similar as we have seen in Web 2, right? This is what treasury management is. But when we say like, treasury management in crypto, there should be, we should be enabling very trustless and permissionless kind of ways in each of the verticals so that we have a very crypto native solution to really, serve this parallel sort of, crypto native economy, right? And specifically, I think for the purpose of this sort of community call as well, like we are heavily focused right now on the payouts and the reporting sort of aspect as the first sort of starting point, right? And slowly we'll solve each and every aspect of the treasury. And when you are saying like, payouts, how you really scale payouts in a very trustless manner, and how will you really, save a lot of time of the DAO admin, right? These are the big questions when we want to speak about like payouts in Coinshift. So before really discussing like, the slide, I would like to also discuss like, what is happening right now, right? So it is very bad, I would say, when you have a certain contractor, you're a registered entity, and now like this contractor is like legally bounded, right? With the company and a contractor have like a legal agreement, and now this like the reoccurring kind of payout I want to do in crypto, because the contractor sometimes want to receive in crypto. So how will you really, create like a trustless mechanism to pay that person and saving a lot of time, gas fees, all those operations with your multi-sig treasury? That is the big question. And today, if you just want to start a stream, I would say directly through Gnosis multi-sig, there are like, n number of steps you need to go through by taking like the approvals, then you have approval wrapping, and then a lot of other functions, right? And then you have like, you don't have any place where you can just have like the teams management and then certain kind of delegation system. So Coinshift just combines all those different components, and then salary as a use case, basically we want to solve, right? So that's why I think we want to bring sort of streaming, because streaming, we believe like it's an automated sort of way where it's a real-time thing, right? You are just delighting your contractors in a real time. That's a competitive edge. But not only on the contributor side, on the DAO admin side as well. I just need to come to the dashboard of Coinshift, and in a single click, I'll just show you like some screens as well. In a single click, basically you are just creating n number of streams in multiple tokens, even to multiple teams, and boom, then you don't need to even think about, right? All the accounting, team management, tagging will take care of it, right? And that is the use case, and that's why we just want to partner with Superfluid, because I think fundamentally Superfluid is the protocol which is like solving it in a more developer focused way, and it is highly use case agnostic. So salary is one of the use case of Superfluid protocol, right? You can have like a lot more other use cases, and that's how we chose to have as a part of core integration, just like Gnosis Safe smart contracts. So I took like a lot of time on this slide, but I think that is very, very important to understand like why we are heavily focused on this kind of primitive as the payout kind of solution, right? And just V2, if you just see like this is the dashboard. Currently V2 is in live with sort of 15 launch partners, some of the industry leading sort of DAOs and companies, and you can see like I can see my aggregated balance across 8 different Gnosis Safe accounts across 5 different blockchains, right? And the entire transaction history I can directly see in this sort of dashboard, and the global access control to my labels, user management, all the contacts is like built into it, right? We support sort of 7 chains today in V2. And then talking about like the specifically like how we are thinking on the integration side of Superfluid, right? So as I mentioned, like there are a number of steps to even start a stream. So what does it do is basically, obviously after starting the stream, it is very easy because it's all gasless and all that, but we just believe like the onboarding took so much time for a DAO admin to really understand all these things, right? And then sometimes you don't even know like how much you need to top up to the wrapping sort of function. So all these complexities we have been working with Superfluid team from the last few months, like how we can just eliminate all those things. And in the details kind of section or on the notification section, we'll just tell you what is happening under the hood. So you can see here, you can just choose your Treasury account on any chain like which we support, and after that you choose the currency. And even this add batch functionality is basically you can add multiple sort of currencies in the same sort of transaction, and through multi-sig kind of library provided by Gnosis, right? We can just batch all these operations very, very seamlessly, and that's how you can just create a very seamless sort of experience, right? And then here you can see like you have like the auto tagging as well, and then with the recent sort of Superfluid feature of ACL, where you can just with the gelato kind of bots, you can delegate ending streams and all those operations automatically. I think it'll be super smooth for a UI like ours to really do stuff for the users. So you can see batch 1, batch 2, batch 3. It means like different sort of tokens here. And then as a Coinshift, we want to really work on a lot of workflows. So one good example is like we were thinking is like how we can just automate this entire sort of systems. For example, your main treasury is sitting on Ethereum mainnet. Now you want to run streaming function on Polygon, but you don't want to put a lot of your money on Polygon, right? So what you can do is just automate this entire system so that every 6 weeks or so, or maybe some threshold, you can just transfer the money from main treasury to Polygon treasury, and in Polygon treasury your streaming is auto running, right? And that's how you just feel like what kind of experience it would be, where you're just setting up the workflow once and you don't even need to think about it. Like our system will tell you, all the monitoring will be in place, all the worst case scenarios will be sorted for you. So that kind of experience we want to bring in terms of payouts. And as I mentioned, like we are working with these sort of DAOs and crypto companies for V2. So things are going really, really good. So definitely like super pumped for the main launch. We are expecting the launch around like Q4 early, and specifically Superfluid, the integration is going on right now. We are testing few things, but very soon it will be available, and it is under whitelist. So we have over sort of 900 organizations sort of signed up for the whitelist, and we just want like to prioritize if you really want to use Superfluid, if you're excited about this integration. Yeah, questions or anything, any feedback?
That's awesome, Tarun. I think we want to try this out ourselves first, because we do have complex multi-sig actions across different networks, and this will simplify our life by an order of magnitude. So really keen to see this live whenever it gets out. And yeah, if anyone here wants to get access to the whitelist for Coinshift, I'm gonna share the link on the chat as well, so that you can sign up there to get early access. I don't know if there are any questions. We are a bit short on time, but we can take a couple maybe.
Okay, if there's no questions, thanks, Mike, for the link. Yeah, super cool what you guys are building at Coinshift, and also like with your version 1 only, you have reached such a high level, so super cool to see. Maybe main question, does your V2 have a dark mode on your UX?
Not yet, but yeah, I think a lot of people are asking for it, so we'll build what community wants to, so definitely we'll be doing that.
Awesome, sounds good. Thank you so much for joining the call today and
Thanks
showing us everything.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome, great. Then I think we have to move on considering the time. So next up on our agenda is Next, together with Fran, and they're going to talk about cross-chain streaming and how money can move across different blockchains. Do we have Eddie and Max on the call?
Hey, Eddie here from Connext. How's it going?
Hey Eddie, thanks for joining us. Would you like me maybe to introduce the concept, and then I can pass over the mic to you?
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'm gonna quickly share my screen then. So here we go. Cool. Well, as a lot of you might have seen, this week we were able to finally announce something that we've been working on for a while with our partners at Connext. So basically, we have the first working prototype of cross-chain streaming. So this allows us to stream funds across different blockchains without needing to lock any capital. So the experience is very similar to what you are all used to, right? So you open a stream and the funds start trickling into the counterparty's account. We're able to do this across any chain. So this is the first of its kind. And this kind of experience where we can basically move value every second without making transactions across different chains is truly a world first. Like we were so excited to talk about this that it's probably out of character for us, but we actually announced it before it's finished, just because we were so excited about it. Usually we kind of finish stuff properly before we announce it, but it's just such an incredible proposition, and we were very excited to share it with all of you. So some of the use cases that you can imagine. So for example, as Tarun was saying, right, we have all these DAOs that have treasuries, and treasuries really shouldn't be on different chains, right? It increases the complexity. But different receivers might want to get paid on different chains for different reasons, right? So for example, some chains have better bridges to centralized exchanges, or maybe some people are just, for example, uncomfortable using certain blockchains, right? So by using the system, you're able to pay people on different blockchains. You can also receive subscriptions from different blockchains. So, if you're a professional that gets paid by people, you can just ask them, pay me through the streaming bridge, right? And this means that your customer doesn't need to integrate your blockchain. They simply stream to a specific address and the funds will arrive wherever you are. So ultimately, this allows you to consolidate all these different streams originating in different chains into a single treasury. And that's really where things are interesting, right? Because we imagine that in the future, there's going to be a lot of different blockchains. There's going to be a lot of rollups. There's going to be different, different kinds of alternative layer ones, even just cross-shard communication, right, in Ethereum. So all these different blockchains need to communicate, but we don't want users to have to manage 100 different wallets, right? That would be a terrible user experience. And that's even worse if you're a business, right? Because you really need your capital to be efficient, and you can't be thinking all the time of where is my money, right? By using a cross-chain stream, everybody will be able to basically consolidate all of their funds into one single treasury, and as a result, be a lot more capital efficient and have very streamlined processes. So we're very excited to build this. It's still very early stage. I have to be very clear here. But we are excited to work on this with our partners at Connext and Nomad. They are truly the pioneers and the best solution that we've been able to find on the market for cross-chain communication. And we're incredibly excited to be working on this with them. So much so that in New York, we have a $2,000 bounty for anyone working on this concept. So if you're interested, if you're going to be in New York, I would recommend going over to the repository. You can find it down here, right? This is the link to the repo. You can check out what's currently the state of the art and build on it. Anything qualifies. So just look at the repo, improve it, build a user experience, some sort of UI, maybe an explorer so that you can see the streams happen in real time across chains, whatever you want, right? Just go check it out, test it, build something, and win $2,000 at each. So that's it for me. I'm going to leave it over to Eddie or Max if you want to share something.
Yeah, thanks, Ren. This is super, super exciting for us. And again, you guys announcing it early, kind of out of the regular flow of things is a testament to that as well. And we love that. Superfluid, like this cross-chain streaming sort of implementation and concept is one of the most amazing use cases that we've had come out of our like cross-chain capability so far. So we're super excited as well. On top of Superfluid's bounty for ETH New York, we're also doing one. And obviously we've partnered for this, so the bounty is kind of like doubled in that sense. So anybody who wants to build a kind of like cross-chain streaming thing at ETH New York, you kind of have like a multiplier on the prize bounty just for building on top of something that uses both of these protocols. And I can sort of answer any questions that anybody has about the underlying connects to Nomad protocol itself, if there are any. But I just wanted to say that this current implementation of the cross-chain streams is using a lot of the capabilities that we're trying to drive home for cross-chain use cases. So using things that like validate data across different chains, using this concept of callbacks, which is like pretty equivalent to async programming, where you can like send a message from an origin chain to a destination chain, and then also react to the results of the call on the destination chain back on the origin chain. So some of these things are like really exciting and not yet quite fully explored. In fact, not explored at all, really. So it's kind of up to the builders in this space to help us figure out like what are the awesome things that we can do and what we can build. And I think cross-chain streaming is one of those primitives that might be a super, super awesome use case to enable a lot of different kinds of products and different kinds of cross-chain dApps. So I do also want to point out that user experience is also something that we're really trying to get to build well in the space. It's already pretty hard for regular people to onboard into the space, like getting used to working with dApps and wallets and managing keys and all this sort of things. And once you throw cross-chain into the mix, like that complexity is increased exponentially. So our goal, just to reflect on what Fran said, is really to make it so that the user doesn't have to manage all of these different things across chains. They don't have to like worry about, oh, what chain am I on right now? What chain do I need to be on? What chain is this dApp like working on? So all of that needs to be like wrapped up in a way that's kind of abstracted to the end user. And I think being able to do this kind of cross-chain streaming without having to worry like what chain you're on is a beautiful way to not only onboard users that want to be doing things from cheaper chains, but also just to like consolidate their experiences across all the chains that are available in this space. So us at Connext and Nomad as well, we're all super, super excited to have this like pushed out, and we're really looking forward to seeing what builders can do with this new like cross-chain primitive with streaming stuff. So yeah, I'll open the floor up now, I guess, if there are any questions about the cross-chain streaming, about Connext or Nomad in general.
Hi, Eddie. ID here for Any Brokers. So do you guys integrate Eddie with gaming at all, Web3 gaming?
So we're basically like a public infrastructure project. So any project like a game that has a cross-chain strategy or wants to go cross-chain in any way, like moving assets or operations cross-chain, can use us. So we're actively looking for partners that want to build on top and build these kinds of capabilities. So if you have something in mind, or if you're working on a project that does have this kind of cross-chain vision, definitely look into us, sync up with me, and we can try to figure out like how to build it out.
Awesome, absolutely.
Cool. If there are no other questions, maybe Josh, you can say a few words about how it was. So Joshua on our side basically built the whole prototype. So maybe he can roast Eddie on all the difficult things he couldn't figure out on his own.
Love to hear it.
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, this has been, just an absolute blast working on this. I mean, this is really like the frontier of this technology. So it's really, really exciting. But just going into the technicals a little bit, in a nutshell, we have two messages that need to go between these chains. Now, something really cool to know about this is Connext actually supports messages with some sort of value attached to it. So the idea is that I can send a message, and at the same time, I can essentially send something like USDC over the chains. Now, Connext handles this in their own way there, but what we can know is that I'm going to receive that USDC on the other side. So the way all of this works is we have the stream message, which is handled whenever a stream is created, updated, or deleted, and then we have the rebalance message, and this makes sure that the pools are balanced, that nothing's getting liquidated, all the accounts stay solvent there, right? So the origin contract right now, this is where the stream starts. It's a registered super app. So if you don't know about what super apps are, first of all, it's really cool. You're missing out. You should find out. But what this thing can do is atomically react to the creation of streams using callbacks. And so what we can do here is whenever a stream goes here, then this can send a message over the Connext bridge and a small deposit to make sure that the contract on the other side can create a stream. So when the receiving contract receives that, they receive enough USDC or whatever token, it receives enough of that to create a stream, and then it creates a stream out from there. The other is the rebalance. This can be called at any time. This is handled by off-chain infrastructure, and this is just like a way, like I said, a way to make sure that the balances are maintained between the pools. And overall, the Connext contracts have been really great to work with. I think the only thing there was it was a little bit tough to mock these contracts. Making sure that we can test everything properly and all that. Which, by the way, definitely check out that repo. It's built with Foundry, by the way, so you should try out Foundry as well. But yeah, so if you guys have any technical questions, anything like that, let me know. And also expect a technical article pretty soon for me that kind of goes in a little bit deeper on how everything works here.
And of course, Joshua will also be in New York with us. So if anybody wants to take on the bounty, we can, you can have him drive you through how the project works.
Sounds good. Does anybody have any questions in the chat, or anybody wants to ask on voice? Now is your chance. But anyway, super cool project and product that you have built. Really, really cool. I think we got really good feedback on Twitter, and Anthony Sassano also featured us in his newsletter and a video. So we got some really good feedback from there. Oh yes, actually we also have a poll that we wanted to ask you. I will just put it up 1 second. And the poll is, would you ever consider streaming tokens cross-chain? Do let us know, what do you think? Would you use it? Would you implement it in your product or in your project? Do let us know. Okay, I see a lot of yeses here. Awesome. I will give a couple of more seconds for you to answer. And yeah, let us know if anybody wants to take up the bounty in New York. We will be there. We're going to support you. So it's going to be very exciting. All right, I'm going to share the results here. And as you can see, a lot of people want to try it out, and definitely stream tokens, cross chains. So awesome. So, we do have one question in the chat. What are the gas costs associated with cross-chain streaming?
Yeah, so you pay gas one time whenever you create the stream, and everything else is handled in the background. So that stream creation does it, but as with all other superfluid streams, these things are perpetual and don't require any extra transactions. So I think personally, this kind of thing would be a natural way to consistently move tokens between chains, right? So let's say Superfluid goes over to L1 and everybody wants to off ramp from L1, instead of paying that fee over and over again to bridge, just stream it once and you can get that money moved over.
Yeah, one thing that's worth mentioning is that obviously there is a lot going on in the background, right? There's gas fees on the other chain, there's Connect fees, there's Nomad fees, there's delays. Like, it's a fairly sophisticated product, and it will come with probably some sort of fees, because ultimately there is liquidity that needs to be managed cross chain. It's not simple. It will have some sort of fees, but that one of the reasons for those fees is to cover the gas costs.
Cool. And the other question was, so the gas needs to be paid on both chains?
Well, there's two streams technically, right? There's a stream on the first chain, and then there's a stream on the second chain. The stream on the second chain is being opened by a relayer, which is a Connect relayer, right? So that relayer is going to pay the gas, but they're not going to do it for free, right? So there will be a fee associated with this. Now, how exactly the fees will be distributed is still something that we need to define, right? And that's actually, I would say, most of the complexity of this product. But as I said, there's going to be an overall fee for using the bridge, which will hopefully create a very simple UX, so that the user doesn't have to think of cross-chain gas, because it's bad enough thinking about one-chain gas, right? But we'll see how that eventually develops when we finish the product.
Yeah, maybe I can jump in here a little bit about the sort of fees associated. When you start a cross-chain message using Connect, you put into the parameters of the X call a fee for the message that's going forward, and also for the callback, if there is a callback. So the fees are going to be denominated by the origin chain, the native asset in the origin chain. And so the X caller has to do some estimations first about what are the costs of gas going to be once these messages actually go through. So there's a little bit of an exercise in estimation, and we're going to build out some more robust tooling to help Zap developers actually do that estimation. But once you put those parameters in, and let's say gas war pops up in the middle of the transaction, gas costs go up, and relayers decide that that gas cost is not enough for them to actually relay, we do allow for the ability to bump that cost on the origin side. So the person who's making the original X call can keep on bumping that fee until it's enough for relayers. And similarly, the callback fee can also be bumped from the origin side. So all of that is going to be denominated on the origin in the origin chain's native token. So that's that's basically what you would do for the fees. But then if there is any X calls that go from destination side to origin, then you're going to be paying gas fees on the destination side. But in that case, the destination is the origin. So it's kind of it depends on your kind of perspective, where you're initiating the X call.
Very cool stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, I hope, Chinmay, that you got your answer that you were looking for. Does anybody else have a question also for the previous speakers? I'm
wondering maybe if Tarun still here, if he can tell us if he's going to integrate cross-chain streaming into Coinshift.
Oh.
So that you can pay your salaries across different chains.
Tarun is not here still, but I was chatting with him and he mentions that he wants to, but I suggested him to do that for the next version of their dashboard, because otherwise it's gonna never finish where it can be shipped in Q3.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Cool. We got some really good feedback on the chat as well, I see. Very cool stuff, loads of potential. Yes, it has a lot of potential, definitely. We have a question in the chat. What's the last date to apply for the reactor program? Fran?
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, actually, we just finished our application and interview process for this cohort, and it will kick off this Friday. So for this cohort, it's kind of a little bit late, but we will have another cohort in 3 months, like in beginning of October. And of course, at the same time, you can still continue building, and we will provide support to you and welcome you to the next cohort.
Awesome, sounds good. I know that the team has worked hard on the program, so definitely do apply, even if it's in 3 months. The time flies by fast, so definitely take your time. Karan, do you have a question? I see you raised your hand.
Yeah, hi. So I don't have a question, but would like to share that love the way Superfluid is growing. This is my first community call I have attended. Like we are one of the startups selected for Superfluid Reactor program, and very thankful to especially Sam, Solel. They supported us in very well manner during Eternal's hackathon, and because of them only we were able to fix the bugs, and like even after hackathon they helped us to how to take it to next level. So all thanks a lot for all the guidance, and we are super excited for tomorrow's session kickoff.
Awesome, thank you so much for the feedback and your nice words. We're super happy to have you in the cohort, so hopefully we can support you as much as we can and to make your project successful. And thank you for joining today, by the way. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, this is the feedback we love to hear the most. Exactly, Vijay. This is the best feedback for us. Does anyone else on the call have questions? Otherwise, we can also address some questions that we got through a form that we sent out previous to this call. There was a question about our ecosystem and what kind of projects Superfluid is working together, and who has integrated Superfluid in their products. So we do actually have a website where you can actually see all the projects that are listed. It's work in progress, but we are working on it. So let me quickly show you on my screen and share. So hopefully you can see my screen. So basically this is our webpage for our ecosystem. So here we list all the projects and protocols that use Superfluid or are fully built on Superfluid. So feel free to check it out. And we have integrated all the web pages here, so you can just click on it and see what the project is about. Unfortunately, we don't have too much information here on the website, but everything is listed here, whether they are integrations, chains, whether they are using us for salary payouts, or vesting their tokens, for example, or custom super tokens, who have launched custom super tokens. So feel free to check it out. We will put the link in the chat. So we do have this page for our partners. This is work in progress, so hopefully soon we have an updated version of this one. But yeah, whoever asked the question, I hope this will help you. Awesome. Oh, thank you, Mike, for sharing the link. We also had a question. Someone asked through the form, what's the future of Superfluid? So Fran or Mike, maybe you want to give a nice overview what the future looks like.
I'll leave it. I've spoken enough, so I'm going to leave it to.
All right. Thanks for the hot potato, Fran. So what we're trying to do is we are trying to get basically pave the way for a frictionless movement of capital across the Web3 economy. So we're building a protocol which aims to become the standard for real-time value transfer between parties in the Web3 world, right? And we are focused on developers as the main audience we are trying to connect to, because they are the lifeblood of this industry. And they are the ones that do see the problems that need solving as well in the tech sector. So at the moment, we have seen over 400 projects built on Superfluid, mostly at hackathons, and some of them are transitioning into real ventures. Some of them are rebuilding Stripe for Web3. Others are building Patreon for Web3. We have seen a lot happening lately with NFTs and in the gaming sector. So there is also a whole new, I would say, blue ocean opportunity for new financial applications being built on top of streaming technology. So, real-time investing, for example, with Ricochet, or even, uncollateralized loans on salary streams, that other projects are building. So what the future is for Superfluid really is cover all the networks where the protocol is needed, ensure that the protocol is modular and composable such that we can build more and more use cases and applications on top of it, and then ultimately become the de facto standard for real-time value transfer in Web3. But if you have a specific question and you're listening to this, reach out to our Discord and we'll try to be a bit more specific.
Thank you so much, Mike, for the answer. I hope that also answered the big question of our future, whoever asked it. But we do have a couple of more minutes left. If anybody wants to share anything, ask a question, comment on something.
Just regarding the reactor program application, I would like to say, of course, it depends on your stage of your project. If you are like finishing up the project and link goes to fundraising, in this case, probably we can think about something else as alternative solution. So do reach out to us about what you're building, and then we'll see and decide on case-to-case basis.
The other thing I'll say, just to jump in actually, on the topic of New York next week, if you're going to New York, hit us up, let us know. We'd love to interact with you there. I'll be there. Several of our other team members would be there. Josh would be there to talk to the cross-chain streaming stuff. So yeah, if you're going, please make sure you see us.
Yes, we will be there, definitely. Karan, do you have a question? I see you raised your hand.
Hi. So just would like to know, Superfluid started charging fees for the streaming? For transaction, money streaming?
No, there are no fees. The only fees that you pay are the ones of the network. So if you have any gas fees of a network to start a stream, those are paid to the network miners or validators, depending on if it's proof of work or proof of stake. But there is no fees that go directly to the Superfluid protocol. There is, however, a buffer, which is meant to secure the protocol that you need to lock when you open a stream, and it is returned to you in full when you stop it. And there are applications that manage this for you, but in the case you don't close your stream and you let it run, the buffer might be lost to the protocol, because there needs to be a system that stops the stream whenever you run out of balance. And to do so, they will basically burn gas. And so that's why there is a buffer, which is normally set at 4 hours worth of your stream, that is given to whoever closes it when you run out of balance. However, if you build an application like Ricochet Exchange, you can have a system in place which prevents these from happening to all of the application users. And so it's something that is down to the application developer to mitigate and ensure that it doesn't ever happen. But yeah, if you're using the protocol directly in a raw form, it can happen that if you run out of funds, then the stream is closed and the buffer is lost. But that's the only fee in the system at the moment.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, actually, the buffer amount is very important to keep in mind. And a lot of new users tend to not read our warning signs and messages and the dashboard itself. So it's really important to keep that in mind, that we do have the buffer or the deposit amount that you have to pay. Do we have any other questions or comments from the audience? Anybody wants to share anything?
Yeah, we have a question in the chat about roadmap for networks that Francesco has replied to. Just wanted to say that the purpose or the aim of Superfluid protocol is to be on all the networks where it's needed. So we are, say, network agnostic, and we just need to see adoption and the need for the protocol to be physically in a network, just because the adoption is what justifies the maintenance of the infrastructure of a new network, basically. So if there is no adoption, then there is no reason the protocol should run on that network. But if there is a lot of usage, and if there is especially applications or DAOs or teams or projects that really want it to be in a specific network, just come to roadmap.superfluid.finance, put it out there, ask your community to upvote it on our roadmap dashboard, and then we'll take it into consideration and just provide all the infrastructure for self-deployment by the community itself. So it's also somewhat permissionless. We don't do the deployments ourselves. We just let communities do it. So that's kind of the process. And so far we are on 5 networks. We'll probably be in much more than that by the end of the year. And we again prioritize based on the adoption and the need for the protocol to be live.
Yes, I think Nestor was the one asking it, so I hope it answered your question, Nestor. Great. If anyone doesn't have any other questions, then we can end our call here. Thank you so much for everybody to join in. It was great to have you here. As you can see, we at Superfluid keep on building. We are building every day, and we are not going anywhere because we are building for the long term. So thanks again, everybody, and see you soon. And hopefully we will see some of you in New York. Thanks, guys.
Have a good one,
guys.
everybody.
Bye.
Cheers, everyone.